Mate, imagine waking up to a world where your prime minister just threw a diplomatic Molotov cocktail into one of the messiest conflicts on the planet. Yeah, that's where Australia's at right now. Anthony Albanese, our very own Albo, has just dropped a statement on Gaza that's got jaws dropping from Canberra to Cairo. It's bold, it's risky, and it's got the potential to either make him a global hero or leave Australia stuck in a geopolitical doghouse. Buckle up, because this isn't just about Gaza. It's about Australia picking a fight it might not be ready for, all while the home front's turning into a political circus. Hit that like button if you're ready for the raw truth. Subscribe if you're done with the mainstream spin, and let's dive into the chaos that's got everyone talking. So, what's the deal with Gaza? If you've been anywhere near a screen lately, you know it's a humanitarian nightmare. Families are scavenging for scraps, kids are going days without clean water, and aid trucks are stuck at borders like they're waiting for a Black Friday sale. The United Nations is screaming that Gaza's on the brink. Hundreds of thousands of civilians are caught in a war zone with nowhere to go. And the big question everyone's asking: who's to blame for the fact there's no ceasefire? Is it Hamas holding hostages and digging in their heels? Is it the Netanyahu government doubling down on military ops and blocking aid? Or is it both, locked in a deadly stalemate while civilians pay the price? Let's unpack this mess. First off, Hamas. They've got hostages, Israeli and foreign nationals, and the world's been clear: release them and you've got a shot at de-escalation. Australia's been vocal about this, with Albo and Foreign Minister Penny Wong slamming Hamas as a terrorist outfit. Fair call, holding civilians isn't exactly a peace move. But here's where it gets murky. Hamas says they're fighting for their people, claiming Israel's blockade and airstrikes are starving Gaza out. They're not wrong about the starvation part. Reports from the ground say food and medicine are barely trickling in. But using hostages as bargaining chips? That's a hard no from any sane perspective. Now, let's talk Netanyahu's government. Israel's been pounding Gaza, saying they're targeting Hamas after the October 2023 attacks. But the body count, tens of thousands, mostly civilians, including kids, has the world screaming war crimes. Albo's gone further than most, calling out Israel for unacceptable civilian deaths and demanding they follow international law. He's even hinted at permanent displacement of Palestinians being a red line. That's not just tough talk. That's Australia staring down one of its closest allies, the US's best mate, and saying, "Mate, you're out of line." Bold? Sure. Risky? You bet. Because when you poke Israel, you're also poking Uncle Sam, and that's a diplomatic tightrope Albo's dancing on with no safety net. So, who's really to blame for no ceasefire? It's like a toxic breakup where both sides are screaming, "You started it." Hamas won't budge without guarantees, Israel's not stopping till they feel safe, and the civilians are stuck in the crossfire. The truth? Both sides are fueling this fire, and the longer they play chicken, the worse it gets for Gaza's people. Aid's not getting in because borders are locked. Checkpoints are tighter than a hipster's jeans, and neither side trusts the other to hold up their end of a deal. The UN says only a fraction of needed supplies are making it through. Think 10 trucks when they need 100. It's a disaster, and Albo's decided Australia's not staying quiet about it. Now, here's where it gets wild. Albo's not just calling out Israel. He's doing it at a time when Australia's already juggling a dozen other dramas. Just last week, we signed a deal to let US beef flood our markets for the first time ever. Coincidence? Maybe. But the opposition's sniffing around, saying it smells like a hush-hush trade-off to keep the Yanks sweet while we slag off their ally. And then there's Barnaby Joyce. Yep, good old Barnaby. Swinging in like a wrecking ball, demanding we ditch net zero climate goals because China and India aren't playing ball. Mate, the planet's literally on fire, and Barnaby's out here trying to burn the house down faster. It's like watching a bloke argue about rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. But wait, there's more. Word on the street is Australia might be warming up to recognizing a Palestinian state at the UN General Assembly in September. France is pushing hard for it, and Albo's playing coy, saying it's not on the table. But let's be real. If the Gaza crisis keeps spiraling and global pressure mounts, you reckon he won't jump on the bandwagon? This could be the biggest foreign policy shakeup since we sent troops to Afghanistan. And if it happens, expect Canberra to implode. Half the government will cheer, the other half will scream betrayal, and the opposition will have a field day. Speaking of fields, let's talk about the home front. While Albo's playing world leader, Australia's got its own fires to put out. Google's threatening to sue if we ban YouTube for kids under 16. Yep, that's a real thing. One minute we're debating global peace, the next we're fighting over whether little Sarah can watch cat videos without breaking the law. And don't get me started on the cost of living crisis. Families are choosing between groceries and rent. But sure, let's argue about climate targets and beef imports. This is Australia in 2025, folks. A political soap opera where the stakes are sky high and the plot's a bloody mess. So what's the takeaway? Albo's Gaza stance is a gamble. Calling out Israel might win him points with the global south and the bleeding hearts at home, but it's a slap in the face to the US and Israel. If he pushes too hard, we could be looking at strained trade deals, frosty alliances, and a very awkward barbecue at the next AUKUS meeting. But if he backs down, he risks looking like a flip-flopper who can't stand by his own words. As for Gaza, the ceasefire's stuck in limbo until Hamas releases hostages and Israel opens the aid gates. Until then, civilians are the ones paying the price, and that's the real tragedy here. Alright, legends, what do you reckon? Has Albo done the right thing by throwing shade at Israel, or is he dragging Australia into a fight we can't win? Should we be pushing for a Palestinian state, or is that just pouring fuel on the fire? And don't even get me started on Barnaby, genius or chaos agent. Drop your thoughts in the comments because this is bigger than politics. This is about where Australia stands in a world that's falling apart. Like, subscribe, and share this before YouTube gets banned for under 16s or Barnaby sets fire to Parliament House. This is our country, our future, and it's time we started talking about it like it matters.